The other duo of this Achilles quarterback teams is Aaron Rodgers, of course. I don't think this is really much explainer about what team Aaron Rodgers is on and what's happened in the last 16, 18 months. But where are you at with the Jets? How hard into this prove it are you? Because I think I'm full prove it for the entire team.
Yeah, I just want to see it at this point. I don't really know what else to say about them. I just want to see this Aaron Rodgers thing in action. I've said this before. I don't know what success needs to look like for the New York Jets, right? I mean, is this going to be the 15th best offense in the league? Is that good enough for them to win, to be a Super Bowl contender? Because that's been the talk of what the expectations are, which, by the way, if you just look at Robert Saleh's record as a head coach, going from that to Super Bowl contender, it's a huge jump, a cataclysmic type of jump. Like you're jumping over the whole chasm, the whole canyon there at that point. So it's definitely a huge projection, but they have the defense to do it. But we know defense is inherently volatile, and they've staved off that sort of typical defense regression. And on paper, I don't see any reason why this defense should dramatically regress. But let's say it does, and like how much then does the offense have to carry a bigger burden, and how much are they capable of doing that when they have a 40-year-old quarterback coming off an Achilles and one potentially elite receiver and potentially elite running back, and then kind of there's a big drop off after that.
Yeah, it's the offense is top heavy, but the guys at the top are very injury prone. So I don't know, it feels like that could topple a little bit. I'll start with the defense because this is really what this team should be built around. Last year, it was an elite unit with an elite pass rush that's the great equalizer, especially when the weather gets colder, is an elite pass rush can dominate games, and then the quarterback. Those are the kind of the two variables that really help in the run game. So there's the three variables that help in the playoffs. Wow. It's almost like the old coaching adage is hold steady.
Cliches are cliches for a reason.
Oh man, I know. The more things change, the more this stay the same. But I think this defense will drop off a little bit from that pass rush being elite to more very good, which still matters, but it's not that like, holy crap, look at all these guys coming at you. Losing Huff, we'll figure out what the hell is going on with Reddick and his situation. But, Quinnen Williams is a star. He's, probably one of my favorite players in the league, period. Quincy Williams, I really like with CJ Mosley, even if he's on the back half. It's just, even losing Jordan Whitehead's interesting to me because he had a nice season last season. I love their corners. I think this is going to be a very good unit. But the offense that's the prove it. Because this is it. You guys are you're not building around Rodgers for 3 years. It's this year and maybe next year, depending on how this goes. Okay, so prove it. This is it. You guys haven't made the playoffs in forever, and you're saying you're going all the way to the ship. Okay, all right. Let's see what you got. But they have to be healthy because the offense could be good. It could be even top 10, top 12, but it's relying on a lot of guys that are injury prone. Mike Williams, Tyron Smith, Elijah Vera Tucker, talented players. Aaron Rodgers, 40-year-old coming off an Achilles. Just a lot of medical red flags everywhere. So that can down the Jets very quickly, but I'm excited to see it when it's healthy because it could be interesting. And they had all 5 starters out there very recently. Garrett Wilson's a star. It could be interesting, but we'll see. Maybe we get some Jeremy Ruckert run. That would make my tight end take from a few years ago look okay. When I had the same grade on him as Trey McBride. So, let's see. Yeah, more different. Like I thought Ruckert would be a really good blocker and could maybe do some receiving stuff. And we'll see. He's just another guy that's battled injuries.
They need anybody to emerge there, I think. So they would take it.
Last one here for round 2, and that's the Jags. Kind of hit on them a couple weeks ago. I kind of got my shots off, but what do you got about the Jags? Do you want to add on anything from a couple weeks ago? Maybe we should just clip it here about my rant about how fragile this team is and everything that has maybe pulled my hair out the last couple of years.
Well, I just think that they're a fascinating team to consider. For one, all the great reasons that you pointed out when talking about their offense. 2, if you look at the side of the ball that was most effective last year, it was the defense, and yet that is the side of the ball that they cleared out from a coaching staff perspective. So again, we're starting to fire coordinators here rather early into Doug Peterson's tenure, but not the coordinator that most people were upset with, which happens to be the guy that you have tried this song and dance with before, and Press Taylor as the offensive coordinator. So I'm just curious from a bottom line perspective, how bad does this season need to go for Jacksonville for them at the end of the year to consider hiring the third head coach of Trevor Lawrence's tenure. And we're not that far into it. This is not how you want it to go with a quarterback you take number 1 overall and then pay a monster contract to that he's on his potential. And again, it's potentially, but they're no longer, just moonwalking in an easy division. There are 2 young ascending quarterbacks here that people are excited about. One of which is CJ Stroud, who everybody has the Texans as the favorite to win the division now. Even the Titans you think could be a plucky offense. So if this really does go bad, how bad does it have to go for the Jaguars to consider, we're blowing this thing up again at the end of the year?